Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget tonight's match between Sand Springs and Union is being streamed live on the Union Sports Network at unionsportsnetwork.com. So if you have family and friends that want to watch their favorite volleyball player and couldn't be here, tell them to stream the match live at unionsportsnetwork.com. And we'll also be bringing the senior festivities as well live, as we are live right now on the Union Sports Network. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to John Q. Hammons Arena here on the campus of Union High School for this Union girls volleyball match between the Lady Sandites from Sand Springs and your Union volleyball team. But before we get started, it's senior night, and we have 6 seniors to honor this evening. Our first senior, please welcome number 1, Tierney Jackson. She's the daughter of Dana Turley, a 4-year letterman in volleyball. Tierney has played volleyball for Union for 6 years. She was selected to the USA 19 training team and has been unanimously voted on by area coaches for the last 3 years for the Frontier Valley Conference first team. She was the MVP of the division during varsity's recent KSA trip to Orlando, Florida. She's received numerous athletic honors and recognitions over the years, including MVP for her age division, an all-tournament team in St. Louis President's Day Classic, and most recently, the Stillwater Invitational Tournament. After high school, Tierney has committed to play volleyball with West Virginia and plans to major in marketing. Her favorite volleyball memory was the Florida trip last year, that she loved getting closer to some of the newest underclassmen and had the best time riding the Velocicoaster over and over again. Tierney wants to remind the underclassmen to enjoy every moment while it lasts, because one day you'll walk into the gym, meet some of the best friends you've ever had, play a sport that you'll love, which brings you closer together, and then next, it's all over. Take a moment to appreciate everything that's in front of you, your teams, your friends, and your coaches, because you'll look back one day and be thankful you were with such a great program. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Tierney Jackson. Senior, number 4, Amaya Norwood. Daughter of Maisha Norwood, Amaya has played volleyball with Union for 5 years. She hopes to further her athletic career in track and field and currently has multiple D1 scholarship offers. She plans to major in either music performance or musical theater. Amaya has been on the AB honor roll for the last 4 years of high school, and her favorite Union volleyball memory was at the Las Vegas trip where she was introduced to some of the best friends that she's ever had. Amaya would like to tell her underclassmen that she knows what it feels like to be your own worst critic, but wants to remind you, be nice to yourself. There are people all around you that love you, including me. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Amaya's grandmother is with her, and Amaya wants to wish you, Grandma, a very happy birthday today. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, number 4, Amaya Norwood. Next up, senior, number 7, Jenna East. She's the daughter of Sean and Elena. Jenna has played volleyball for 9 years. She has earned academic all-conference honors and has been on the athletic honor roll and the National Honor Society. Jenna plans on playing volleyball after high school, and her favorite Union volleyball memory was riding the Velocicoaster at Universal this year. She wants to remind underclassmen, never give up on the things that you love. Ladies and gentlemen, number 7, Jenna East. Next up, senior, number 19, Mia Martin. She's the daughter of Greg and Brenda. A 4-year letterman in volleyball, Mia has played the sport for 6 years and is ranked in the top 8% of the senior class academically. A student athlete advisory council member, Mia was selected as the 2021 All Sports Homecoming candidate representative at this year's homecoming celebration. Mia was recently named the 2021 Stillwater Invitational All-Tournament team and plans to attend Oklahoma State University and major in nutritional science after high school. Her favorite volleyball memory is beating Jinx on their senior night in 5 sets. Mia hopes the underclassmen enjoy it while it lasts because it's going to go by really fast. Ladies and gentlemen, number 19, Mia Martin. Senior, number 20, Raquel Finelli. She's the daughter of Chris and Angela Finelli. Raquel is a dual sport athlete in both volleyball and soccer. Raquel has plans on playing volleyball for the past 6 years. A 2-time all-district soccer selection, Raquel plans to continue her athletic career playing soccer in college. Her favorite Union volleyball memory is beating Broken Arrow this year and beating Jinx on their senior night. Raquel's last words for the underclassmen is, don't get beat by the donut. Good advice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, senior number 20, Raquel Finelli. And last but certainly not least, senior number 26, Maddie LaPointe. Maddie's the daughter of Martin and Amber LaPointe. Maddie's played volleyball for 6 years and is a 4-year dual sport athlete as the member of a Union varsity cheer and volleyball teams. Maddie was named Frontier Valley Conference Honorable Mention in volleyball and has won regional and national champion titles in cheerleading. As a member of the Union's EDGE program, Maddie will graduate in May not only with her high school diploma, but with an associate's degree from TCC. A 3-year member of the Student Athlete Advisory Council, Maddie currently holds a 5.36 GPA and is ranked in the top 8% of her senior class. Maddie's been named to the Frontier Valley Academic All-Conference team all 4 years and made the athletic director's honor roll every year. After high school, Maddie hopes to attend the University of Tulsa and play volleyball while majoring in sports medicine. Maddie's favorite Union volleyball memory is going to Universal during her freshman year, doing really well in the tournament, and then going to watch the Blue Man Group. Maddie would like the underclassmen to know that there will always be people that tell you that you can't do things. Just use that as motivation and prove them wrong. And finally, Coach Holtz, where are you? You are somewhere in the building. She wants to remind you that she did pay her parents back the $10 from her freshman year when you told them that they needed to pay their parents back because they were playing so horrible. So there you go, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Maddie LaPointe. Fans, one more time, let's make some noise for these amazing seniors. That's it? Crank it back up? No. They're going to warm up. You can crank the music back up. That's the most nerve-wracking thing, doing that part. So guys, that's part of senior night right there. We're going to be back. So what's going to happen is both the Sand Springs Sandite ladies and your Union volleyball team is going to warm up. So we're going to take about a 15-minute timeout while they warm up. You get to see some of that live right here on the Union Sports Network, and then we'll be back with the match between the Sand Springs Sandites and your Union volleyball team on senior night right here on the Union Sports Network.
Excessive celebration? Yeah, we'll get it started.
Let's rock the house.
All right. It's game time.
Think I'm gonna rent a Monte Carlo. Hey, drive around your neighborhood like real slow. Hey, I love Lucy, I'm Ricky Ricardo. Hey, Mary, meet me in the end zone. Hey, I think I'm gonna rent a Monte Carlo. Hey, drive around your neighborhood.
and gentlemen, don't forget tonight's match between Sand Springs and Union is being streamed live on the Union Sports Network. That's at unionsportsnetwork.com. So, you know, family and friends that want to watch their favorite volleyball player and couldn't be here, tell them to stream the match live at unionsportsnetwork.com. Don't forget, too, concession stand is open.
All in, all the time. This is game time.
That's good.
Stop. What are you talking about? Get my pretty name out of your mouth. We are not the same with or without. Don't talk about me like how you might know how I feel. Top of the world, but your world isn't real. It wasn't ideal. So go have fun. I really couldn't care less, and you can give it my best, but just know I'm not your friend or anything. You think that you're the man. I think therefore I am. I'm not your friend or anything. You think that you're the man. I think therefore I am. I don't want press to put your name next to mine. We're on different lines, so I wanna be nice enough. They don't call my bluff, cause I hate to fight. Articles, 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 rather you remain unremarkable. Interviews, interviews, interviews. When they say your name, I just act. Did you have fun? I really couldn't care less, and you could give them my best, but just know I'm not your friend or anything. You think that you're the man. I think therefore I am.
Knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you've been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to senior night here at John Q. Hammonds Arena on the campus of Union High School for Union Girls Volleyball as Union plays host to the Lady Sandites from Sand Springs. And now let's meet the starting lineups for Sand Springs. A junior, number 3, Olivia DeWitt. Senior, number 5, Taya Johnson. Senior, number 6, Charlie Phelan. Senior, number 12, Jacelyn Smith. Junior, number 16, Layla Lennox. A sophomore, number 22, Avery Tippett. And a junior, number 33, Peyton Robbins. Your assistant coaches are Misha Darden and Lisa Wright, and the head coach of the Sand Springs Sandites is Derek Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, Sand Springs Sandites. let's meet the starting lineups for your Union Volleyball squad. It's senior night, so you better be loud. For number 1, Tierney Jackson. Number 4, Amaya Norwood. Number 7, Jenna East. She's not a senior, but we love her anyway. Number 15, Cha-Cha Robledo. Number 19, a senior, Mia Martin. Number 20, Raquel Fanelli. And who could forget number 26, Maddie Lapointe. Your assistant coach is James Thomas, and your head coach is Coach Chad McKee. Ladies and gentlemen, the Union Volleyball squad. Tonight's officials are Steve Thomas and Megan Brands. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you would please rise or remain standing as we celebrate America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a great evening to be at the UMAC for Union Volleyball as we're celebrating seniors tonight. And they welcome in the Lady Sandites here at the John Q. Hammonds Arena. Welcome in, everybody, because we're right here on the campus of Union High School. And, you know, it's been a while since we've had a chance to see these ladies, Sarah. And while we were away, they've won 11 of the last 12 matches and have only dropped 6 sets in those 12 matches.
I think that's absolutely the team that we have been wanting to see this entire season. And the fact that it's now coming out towards the end when we want it to is even better.
Kind of reminds us of our favorite baseball team that happened to win 17 in a row and made the wild card last night. We'll digress.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but you did, so.
We'll talk about the Cardinals later, but I tell you what, yeah, let's talk about these young ladies. As I said, winners of the last 11 of 12 matches. We saw them beat Stillwater here on September 16th, and more impressive is how this Union Volleyball squad has done it. As I mentioned, they've only dropped 6 sets. I mean, you talk about pitch and no-nos. We talk about shutouts. We talk about all those things. That's an incredible feat because when you're talking in 36 or plus sets, they've only dropped 6. I'm not a mathematician.
Oh, yeah.
But
no, that's pretty great. I mean, that's as consistent as you can be without being, absolutely perfect.
And it's always about gelling at the right time. I get that. We all understand that. Why now? What do you think it is? You know these ladies maybe a little bit better than I do. I say that. You're around them a little more than I am. What do you think is the reason?
I think that it takes a team in general, a little while to figure some things out, whether that be chemistry or there's injuries throughout the season or, for whatever reason, people in and out. And I think that, obviously the right time to get all together is going to be towards the end. And so, if you could pick and choose, of course, you would say the entire season would be great, but I'll take what we can get. And right now, we're looking pretty great.
Yeah, because there's ebbs and flows in every season. We know that. And it doesn't really matter what sport. Everybody can't be the New England Patriots. Everybody can't be the Cardinals or the Yankees. I mean, but even with great teams like that, and we've seen it here at Union, great teams have those downturns. These kids seem to be like their downturn was at the beginning of the season, and they're peaking again at the right time.
I think that with Union athletics in general, and now specifically talking about volleyball, that we're used to, okay, we're making playoffs. There's no question about it.
Serving for Union, number 20, Raquel Finelli. So Finelli set to serve here, and we're getting ready to get underway. You are very good. We appreciate all the help from you, sir. And there's a
great start.
Great start for that right there. As Barron from ORU sat in here and helped us out, Barron, we appreciate it very, very much, man. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to do some shifting now. This will be interesting. We're just underway here at the UMAC. Jenna comes up. Jenna East, you might have heard Coach saying, Jenna, come up, Jenna, come up. As the seniors are getting the start.
Back to back.
And that's a great start for them. And you got a big smile on your face right now. I wish the cameras could see this.
I understand what senior night means to these kids. And, we always say there's that senior night magic. So the opposing team's got to be real careful of how well we're going to play right now.
Finelli to serve. Pretty deep, but Sand Springs plays it anyway. And they look discombobulated as the ball comes this way and goes into the stands. 3-0 now, and Finelli figuring it out. And you're right, Sand Springs does look early on like they're kind of back on their heels, but all the pomp and circumstance, you look around the stadium right now, we've got banners everywhere. It was extremely loud when we announced the seniors earlier. Hopefully you guys got to join us and watch some of that as Norwood puts it back into play and Jackson just gets it over. And Sand Springs will live on. East with a nice job. And a big hit. And that's in, but it was tipped anyway. And Finelli goes back to serve again. Fans behind us getting loud. A great start so far. And quickly 5-0. So
this is great energy we're having right now. I just don't want this to fizzle out.
Yeah, there's a high that you have coming into senior night, and you can talk about that. What is that high like? It's almost, is it the same nerves as opening night? Is it different? Kind of describe. Nice dig there by Tierney, but Sand Springs will come away. How can you describe that?
I think athletically.
Now serving for Sand Springs, number 5, Tia Johnson.
I think athletically speaking, the nerves are kind of, I would say, the same, pretty consistent throughout the season. But you think of how much goes into this night just all the way around, and it's more emotional, I feel. And you want to show out for your family and friends that are here, and this may be your last time that you're guaranteed the court.
That's true, especially here at home. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Now serving number 19, Mia Martin. So Martin, the other senior. I think we have a host of seniors, and I think these seniors are going to get to see a lot of playing time this evening.
I'm really excited to see maybe some spectacular plays that we haven't seen all year just because of the night that it is.
Yes. And I love the fact that we've talked about Jenna East getting the start. I talked about her early on in the season. She was that spark plug in practice that was keeping everybody fired up and going. And it's great to see her getting the start tonight. And there she is, probably not what she wanted to play, but she committed to it, made a great job, and set that up right there. Finelli sets it up. Norwood, nice dig there by East. Over on a great job to keep it alive by Sand Springs. Over to the West Virginia commit. It'll continue on, and that's long. And it's 8-1. You love the energy.
Don't you just love that rally right there? Man, some good volleyball.
Fundamentally, and I know it's early, they look phenomenal.
I'm going to knock on wood right now.
Yes, absolutely. Please do. I don't know if this is real wood. Over. LaPointe with a great dive, and that's going to be out of play. Great job by Mia Martin, to make that dive, and she's kind of laughing right now. Peyton Robbins to serve for Sand Springs.
So we know with, athletics, points are going to flow both ways, but right now keeping the gap in between them and us is going to be important here.
Because that's the kind of stuff you want to see
Yeah,
as
just give 'em a little
playoff
cushion.
starts, which is right around the corner here.
Yes.
Real close. Finelli over to Jackson. And she's got that working tonight. Finding those soft spots, and it's 9-2. Now serving number 26, Maddie LaPointe. So LaPointe back to serve. 9-2 is the score. A little too much Wheaties. And that's part of that fired up as Robledo gets to jump in for the first time this evening.
You just got to find that balance.
Now serving number 16, Layla Lennox. Nice job there by Sand Springs to cover that net. (9-4) now the lead for Union is 5. And Lennox back to serve. Jackson. She gets it back. Nice job for Sand Springs to kind of corral that. Job. And nicely done there by Sand Springs. Kind of caught Union back on their heels. Maybe a little bit there, Coach? Or just good play,
I
good
think
ball
maybe
placement?
that first off energy is kind of wearing off right now.
Something they're going to have to corral and keep as the lead is now 4. Short serve. Jackson's got to get down and get it. Finelli to Norwood. And that would have been long. They would have let it play. Checking in and serving in number 2, Lakira Pinkney. LP saw her doing some jump rope early on, getting herself fired up. She said it burns as I walk by.
That kid cracks me up.
Yep. She's another one with great energy. Big block there. Can't get it down. So on the floor right now, Smith, Robledo, Pinkney, Martin, Jackson, and Finelli. As Jacelyn Smith is back to serve for Sand Springs, and the lead is 4. Now 3.
We need a side out right now.
Kind of collect ourselves and get back into this. Nice conversation on the back row. Big smack there by Jackson, but controlled nicely by Sand Springs, and they'll get it back over, and not too sure what that was.
Double touch.
Double touch, there you go.
Typically when you see the ball spin that way, it means that it's hit her hand twice. We see that a
Now
lot in junior
serving
high.
Tierney Jackson. Seeing that a lot in junior high, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Well, yeah, because they're learning.
Oh, yeah,
they're
absolutely.
learning. They're learning for sure. 12-7. Jackson to serve. You were laughing, did I? Oh, is it the big head over there that you're laughing at? I don't know.
Just, yeah,
Andy,
yeah.
if you can get a shot of that. Mama's got a big head of Tierney Jackson.
You didn't know this. The moms are wearing shirts that have faces of their senior all over it.
Oh,
so you see
that's-
Maddie LaPointe's mom
Yes,
about 2-3 rows up.
yeah.
That's just Maddie's face all over the
That
shirt.
is beautiful. You guys up there in the... Oh! Robledo with a tremendous effort.
Pancake.
For sure, that was beautiful. Olivia DeWitt checks back in for Sand Springs, and she'll serve. So DeWitt to serve. I'm just going to go out on a limb, though, and say Tierney's mom, that was a pretty regular size big head, if you will, with all that hair that Jackson's got.
Yeah.
Didn't think she had to blow that up very much. DeWitt will serve again, 12-9. Union up by 3. LP didn't quite figure that, and it's 12-10. Coach McKee's off the bench. Norwood checks back in. Maya Norwood checks in.
Wasn't the best pass we've seen from LP, but she knows it. She'll come back. She'll fix it.
Now the lead is 2 here. Jackson Finelli over. Nice job by Smith to get it just over. Not setting anything fancy up. Norwood controls it. Finelli. Martin blocked. Smith plays. Jackson still plays. I guess that didn't get over.
Yep, hit the top of the net, came back.
Came back.
They didn't touch it.
The lead is now won by Sand Springs. This is what you talked about, keeping that gap. Too close together, and now Sand
There's a
Springs.
timeout coming pretty soon.
And I'm trying to read Coach McGee's body language. He's just calmly staring there at the girls. As I definitely think that the energy of that has worn off. And now maybe nerves are starting to set in. And there's your timeout.
Should have bet you $5.
There it was. Chad McGee takes a timeout, and we will as well. You're watching Union Volleyball on senior night right here on the Union Sports Network. Back live here on the Union Sports Network. She's Sarah Blakely. I'm Jim Douthat. And Sand Springs really has come back strong, as they were down by as much as 7, if I remember correctly. And they've cut, and they've got a lead by 1 now. So we're back underway, and a big blast there by Jackson. And that's going to fall out of bounds, and that's what we need out of a timeout. Come back and get a point like that.
I think that we need to clean up a little bit of our back row here with our passes. Then I think St.
Now
Springs on the
serving
other end.
number 11, Sydney Smith.
St. Springs on the other end, they cleaned up their stuff when we could get ours. So right now I'd like to see us pull away a little bit.
Smith was a nice serve. And this is what you want to see. Nice job there. Boy, and that's going to fall down. They're kind of out of position. They're starting to run around a little bit, where they were really in control of that first half of the set, if you will, first few points.
I think our focus somehow has just decreased between then and now.
Big blast there, nicely done to get it back over. Finelli sets it up. And Sand Springs has found something here. Big blast. Jackson can't control it. And she knows she shouldn't have touched that, right?
Well, that one's tough. I think that maybe her body angle wasn't the best, especially with as hard as they're hitting. It's just going to ricochet off.
15-13, Sand Springs on top. Phelan back to serve. Nice eyes by Smith to let it go. And Finelli's the one that started this, so maybe she can right the ship. Now serving Finelli. That's what we want to see her do. Knotted at 15 now. Back line for the Sandites. DeWitt and Phelan. And I believe, and that's out. Oh, and that was touched.
Tip.
Must have been tipped in here, right? Jason Smith checks back in. Now serving number 5, Taya Johnson. Johnson to serve. 16-15, and that's long. Oh, I saw that clear in the net. You're starting to know a little bit about it.
Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
a little bit.
By the end of the season, yeah.
At the end of the
You've
season.
learned a few.
You learned a few things. Well, it's been a blast. Listen, Sarah, and this is our last broadcast together of volleyball, and I cannot thank you enough for everything that you've taught, everything that you've brought to this show, this game. The fans, I know they appreciate it. So
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you
it
for
very
having
much.
me.
It's been great.
Probably could have asked a million other people.
No, not at all, not at all. Well, you were a phenomenal mentor to my son when you taught him, and he talks about you all the time still.
I appreciate that.
And you do great things in the classroom and great things for these young ladies. Great job there, and that did not get over. And now we're again knotted at 17. Cassidy Holland checks in for Sand Springs. Now to serve, number 33, Peyton Robbins. Smith, Finelli, long way to go. Jackson just gets it back over. Big blast there. Boy, and Layla Lennox just laid into that one.
That was just a good swing.
She uncorked one there. And I think, with respect to Sand Springs, this is a dogfight
Oh, yeah.
that Union wasn't prepared for. LaPointe to Norwood. Norwood just gets it back over. Free ball for Sand Springs. Big blast there. Controlled by Smith. Tapped back over. Sand Springs with a nice scramble, and boy, they're hustling hard. And the energy has definitely shifted over to the ladies in yellow.
You know, as much as, oh, it's senior night, we're supposed to win. Well, we still got to go out and do it.
Yep, absolutely. Sand Springs doesn't care, and neither would anybody else coming into this gym. Jackson with a big blast, but that's way long.
You know, as an opponent, you always want to come in and, oh, it's their senior night, we want to ruin their night.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing right now as Chad McKee will take another timeout, and we will as well. You're watching Union Volleyball right here on the Union Sports Network.
Hey, folks, don't forget this Friday is homecoming, and Union football hosts Mustang, fresh off their dismantling of Putnam City last Friday night as they won 35-7. For ticket information for Friday night's game, log on to unionps.org/athletics or call 918-357-7410. Don't forget you can join Rick Corey for the call, streaming live on the Union Sports Network and live on 102.3 KRMG. Union football Friday night.
Back live here. 20-17. Sarah Blakely. And Sand Springs has found their mojo for sure as they go up now by 4. And off the timeout, that's not what you want to see.
You know, Maddie knows that. She kind of went in. She knew she should have let it go or go earlier and get a whole piece of it.
And into the net, and that may be a gift.
We
Or it
definitely
was
need
a
to take
gift.
advantage of that.
Yeah. Now we'll see if they can take advantage of it. As Maddie LaPointe's back to serve and try to right the ship again for Union. 21-18 is the score. Sand Springs on top. Into the net. And that's the thing. You got to take advantage when they make the little mistakes like that, because right now Sand Springs taking advantage of ours.
Always.
And they'll take a timeout as well, just off of that, 21-19. But we're going to keep it right here, and we'll have a little conversation about a gentleman you met just a little bit ago, Zach Reynolds, the sideline voice for Union football, will join me. You're going to take a little timeout, go get some water. I appreciate you doing that, so we could have Zach in. We're going to talk a little football and talk maybe a little hockey. We'll see. We'll talk all about that when he joins us. So Zach Reynolds will join me for the second set. Right now, though, Sarah, what's Coach McKee saying? Sand Springs took the timeout, so this is a free conversation for Chad. What's he saying to him?
Well, I think we need to get back to that team that we saw the first 10 points. You know, do the little things, make sure we're in the right spots, we're shifting correctly on defensively, you know, and just go take care of business.
So LaPointe back to serve. The lead is 2 for Sand Springs. Just a little tip. Then the net. and a couple of players come together, but they look okay and they're laughing, so that's a good thing. That was really close. And into the net with Sand Springs, so Union will get the point out of that. Nice job there. Jackson, little tip. Well played by Sand Springs. Back door and in. Boy, the big blast there by DeWitt. Now serving for Sand Springs, Lennox.
You hear Coach Key saying we need a good pass right here, and I think that's our key right now. Clean it up.
Nice job by Norwood.
That was just tough.
That was tough, yep. She had to do anything with it. Robledo, nice job. Finelli, Jackson. Nicely played there by Sand Springs. Boy, long way to run. Finelli, Robledo, back to Jackson.
Tight.
Boy, that was tough.
Real tight on the net.
That was too tight. And it's 23-20 now. 2 points away.
So you see him saying halfway. We want to tell, we have that second pass, that set halfway to the net, halfway to the ceiling. Except here, the ceiling's really tall.
Yeah, but the fundamentals still are the same, no matter how
Right.
tall the ceiling is. To Smith, nice job there by Sydney Smith to just kind of find that empty area. Now that wouldn't be the donut area there.
No,
No.
it wouldn't be.
That's
You
the
know, and I
sideline.
know there's a volleyball term for that, but I like to call that the change-up, the off-speed pitch.
Pinckney checks in and she'll serve. Lakira Pinckney will serve, try to get a couple of points back here. It's 23-21 is Sand Springs, and it's kind of crazy. It's almost like a hush when we get ready to serve. Even some of the energy's been yanked out of this building. And a big block there. The lead is won. You could feel the energy and it shifted.
I was like, we could pull away with this.
Yep. And there's a timeout by Sand Springs. We'll take a quick timeout. Union Volleyball 23-22, Sand Springs on top. We'll be back right after this.
This is how you remind me of what I really am. This is how you remind me of what I really am. It's not like you to say sorry. I was waiting on a different story. This time I'm mistaken for letting you up or breaking. And I've been wrong, I've been down. These words in my head.
Back live here on the Union Sports Network. Pinckney back to serve off a Sand Springs timeout. 23-22, Sand Springs on top. LP serves. Nice deep serve, controlled. Deep. LP, nice dig there. Finelli over to Jackson. Nice dig by Sandites to keep it alive. And a block down. And we're knotted at 23. The girls are fighting for definitely.
I think that they definitely dug us a hole here in the middle of this set. And hopefully we make it out of this one and make the second one better.
LP serves. Little miscommunication on the back row for Sand Springs, but they'll recoup. Robledo with a nice job. Pinckney over to Jackson. Jackson just gets it over. Great dig there by Phelan in the net. They keep it alive. They just got to get it over, and they do. Great hustle there. Big blast and down. And we're at set point. Boy, Sydney Smith uncorked that one like she wants to play a little bit.
Love to see it.
Set point.
All we need is one.
And the Beatles say all you need is love, Sarah. I'm just saying. Nice job by LP to keep it alive. Finelli, Jackson. Jackson will send it deep. Well played by Sand Springs. They'll just tip it over. Job by Martin. Jackson, big blast and down. And the first set goes to Union. And not pretty, Sarah, but we'll take it for sure.
A dub's a dub.
That's right. First set to Union. Sarah's going to take a break. Zach Reynolds live right here with me when we continue on the Union Sports Network.
Hey, folks, don't forget opening night of girls wrestling. That's right, girls wrestling is Thursday, December 2nd, as Union will host the Bixby Spartans. Doors are at 5. Festivities start at 5:30 inside the gym at Union High School. That's girls wrestling opening night against the Bixby Spartans. Thursday, December 2nd. Welcome back live here inside the UMAC as Union takes care of Sand Springs 25-23 in the first set. As we welcome in sideline reporter for 102.3 KRMG and us here at the Union Sports Network, Oklahoma State graduate, but some of you probably know him as the voice of the Tulsa Oilers, Zach Reynolds. Zach, thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me on, Jim, and it's awesome to be here on senior night with all these awesome seniors and all they've accomplished.
Oh, it's been great. It's been a great evening so far, you know, and we'll talk a little bit about this, but you can relate to this. The energy, and Sarah talked about it, the energy was so high in the beginning, and we came out and just it was dismantling Sand Springs, and then all of a sudden Sand Springs was like, hang on a minute, you got it, we got it, we're here to play too.
Yeah, got to earn it, right?
And so you can relate because it doesn't matter. You get a 3-goal lead in hockey, it's not a big deal anymore.
It can be erased, especially these days with how often guys can score, and we saw it both ways last year, us erasing some getting erased.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So we'll get to the Megan comes over, says she needs balls to play with. That's true. That's very, very true. So she'll get them in. You're ready to go. She's ready to go. We're laughing with Megan. And we're going to get underway here as Sand Springs set to serve in set number 2. So first time calling volleyball?
First time calling volleyball, as OSU didn't have it when I went there.
Now you are a graduate, and a big blast there by Amaya Norwood. She's gonna got some D1 scholarship offers coming for sure, but not necessarily here in volleyball. Now serving Mia Martin. Mia Martin back to serve. Talk a little bit about what you've seen out of our Union football team this year on the sidelines and being that close to them.
It's been really exciting, and you know, they faced some adversity at points this year, and on the road against Putnam City. It was a tie game going into the fourth quarter, and those kids really turned it on, and you could see some of the younger guys step up as well. And it's been a nice ride. It's smooth right out of the gate.
Now, tomorrow's homecoming here, or yeah, it is tomorrow, homecoming here. But your last game with us is going to be when? Is it tomorrow?
Well, I'll have a couple more in, so I'll do a couple more games before it's all said and done. Just because of our season kicking off, we start up on October 22nd on the road.
So where
that'll
are
be
we on the road?
Rapid City, South Dakota.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, an interesting place. They have a big Air Force base out there, and a pretty solid team.
Nice serve there, and that's going to fall down. And Union quickly up 4-1 with Maddie LaPointe in the nice serve. I said 4-1, I mean 3-1. Sorry for the folks at home. So LaPointe back to serve. What's going to be the key for the Oilers this year? I know you got Devin Williams back, and that's a long serve, so 3-2. What's going to be the key for the Oilers this year early on?
I think a lot of it's just gelling early on. There's going to be a lot of new players. A lot of guys went over to play professionally in Europe from last season. And so with that, when we look at a lot of new guys coming in, sometimes it can take a bit of time to adjust.
Familiar faces coming back for you guys. I know Devin Williams because I followed that and follow him closely, and being an ex-goaltender myself, You kind of like to watch those signings. Who else you got coming back?
So we got a few other players coming back. Our training camp roster will be released tomorrow, but I'll give, I guess, a little sneak peek for some people that are listening here that might be fans. We have Mike McKee coming back, a fan favorite of ours.
Nice.
A really solid guy on the back end. And
Pinckney checks in.
we also have Adam Pleskatch, our captain, coming back. His number will be retired probably one day. All-time franchise games played leader. Great guy, too.
And a phenomenal man. I've met him just a couple of times when I've been down to do a little public address for you guys when you've invited me down, and I appreciate it. Back, boy howdy, great job there as Union controls here, and a great volley back and forth over to Jackson. Jackson down, and that'll set it up, and a golf clap from Zach Reynolds sitting next to me. So training camp starts, you said when?
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, training camp will start on Monday down at the Oilers Ice Center, just down the road from here. Free entry to the public as well, so if anybody has some time off during the day, they can come out and come watch.
What time are the boys on the ice typically?
9:45 to about 11 a.m.
So when these kids used to have to get up at 4 a.m., and I'm talking about the LaCroix of the world and my son, you don't make the big boys get up at 4 a.m.?
The reason why we always used to have to get up at 4 a.m. when we were kids is because the big boys get the good ice time.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. 6-2, now Union on top, Pinckney back to serve. And this is where, talk a little volleyball here, this is where it's one of those things that we've seen a lot of times that Union and other teams, and you could probably relate to the Oilers, when your foot's on the gas and you've got them on the ropes, sometimes you let off a little bit. We were up by 3, we were up by 7 or 8 in that first set. Why is it so hard for players really of all ages and all teams to keep that foot on the gas, do you think?
I think you just get so comfortable sometimes, especially when things are going your way. You can feel confident in how you're playing, and that confidence can turn into maybe not cockiness, but overconfidence at times. And, sometimes it comes back to bite you.
And right here in front of us, Jackson and Pinckney came together and had an incredible job keeping that alive. And no, it did not hit down at all. And again, great job there. And Pinckney tripping over Finelli, couldn't get to it. But the dig right before that between Jackson and Pinckney, and LP's sitting over here staring at me a little bit. She knows that was exciting.
I mean, that was some incredible effort by just about everybody on the court on that rally.
6-4 now. Sand Springs down by 2. And they're keeping it a little bit closer than what we expected here. Big job, nice dig there. Robledo back it, she'll keep it alive. Jackson will get it over. And Union survives. Nice block. Robledo sets it up. Finelli, Smith. Nicely handled there by Sand Springs. Robledo, Finelli, over to Jackson. Big, and a nice dig there. They keep it alive. Robbins, nicely done. And again, Sand Springs keeps it alive. Smith, Jackson just gets it over. Boy, again, Sand Springs keeps it alive. Pinckney, Finelli, Jackson just tips it over. Oh, what a play! Oh, my! And into the net. But what a play by Sand Springs to keep that ball alive. Both sets, maybe the best rally that we've seen this year.
I mean, both teams, you can tell they want it, right? You have senior night on here, and you heard some of the players' favorite memories were beating Jinx on their senior night, right? And I'm sure those Sand Springs players will probably kind of want to have that same memory, right?
Right, for sure. Yeah, a couple of memories from the girls were beating Jinx on their senior night. And absolutely, and that's something Sarah said, it's senior night. The one thing you want to do is you want to come in and spoil it, right? Mm-hmm. Come in and spoil it. Big nights for these kids. A little discombobulated there by Sand Springs, and Union goes up. Jinx. I guess I was talking about Jinx. Union goes up 8-4. Oh, Lord. Thiessen back to serve. Nice low serve. Well controlled there. Great dive. Sand Springs in a free ball, and that's out. You could hear Coach McKee saying out, out, out. He wants to make sure his girls are dialed in.
People talk about hockey players being tough, but some of these digs, I mean, they cannot feel good on the forearms, can they, huh?
Not at all, not at all. As a matter of fact, a couple of the girls, while they were warming up, came over to and got a little help from Dan Newman. You know Dan.
Yep.
You've talked to Dan a few times.
A few times in the day.
Yep. Talked about injuries and different things, one of the girls said Dan sprayed something on it, and of course there were some screams. So there's a timeout on the floor. We're going to keep it right here. So, Zach, Oklahoma State grad.
Yeah.
You interned, if you remember correctly, you interned with the Oilers,
Yep.
correct?
Yeah, I started interning with the Oilers my senior year of college, and then they just couldn't get rid of me, I guess.
And mentored. Talk a little bit about your journey into the broadcasting realm with the ECHL affiliate in the Oilers, and what the internship meant to you, and then of course being with the hockey program here.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm really lucky to have some pretty good mentors in my time with the Oilers. Starting off, the guy that brought me into the fold, Rob Labor, he's the director of public relations or communications at Jinx Public Schools now,
Yes.
and does their sideline for their football. So I got to catch up with him when Jinx came to town, and then John Peterson after that, who's now in Kalamazoo in our league. But it's fantastic. We're on a 3-year affiliation with the Anaheim Ducks right now. We're in the second year of that 3-year, and pretty rare to see an affiliation that long at the AA level, and it just goes to show how much their staff trusts our coaching staff.
And what do you see? There was big news not too long ago where the Oilers were bought.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about new ownership and what they're telling you.
It's been fantastic so far. Very hands-on ownership so far. Andy Skirdo, basically a one-man ownership group. He's very involved in the Women's Professional Hockey League as well, called the PHF, which is semi-new, and he's been very involved in that, and also been great with us so far.
You know, and it's great to talk about that because this is one of those things. We talked a little bit ago. I mentioned to the fans out here, girls wrestling, opening
Yep.
night for girls wrestling here at Union. That's been a dream. Coach McAfee and his girls are going to have, and now we have a professional women's hockey league, and it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you think, oh, the girls only play when it comes to the Olympics, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Some of obviously the programs north of the Mason-Dixon line in Wisconsin and Minnesota and a lot of those colleges, some of the best hockey I've seen is girls hockey for sure. I think, if I'm not sadly mistaken, Wisconsin won the national championship last year in girls hockey.
And they are a powerhouse, absolutely. Them and Minnesota both. And it's great. It's a sport that's growing. Women's hockey's growing across the coast to coast, especially in the non-traditional markets. And that's great to see because it's not just a men's sport. A lot of people maybe see it that way because of the fighting, but you know, that's kind of phasing its way out of the game anyway.
Well, and it is phasing the way out of the game, but I tell you what, you want to talk about girls, ladies, they chirp, they're mean,
Yes.
they're nasty, and it's really, really cool to watch. And you want to talk about miking up. I'd love to have some of those young ladies mic'd up sometime.
They can eviscerate with their words sometimes, that's for sure.
They can.
Certainly so.
They can for sure. And they check their grammar a little bit better than the boys do
Yeah,
sometimes.
definitely. Yeah, I think that they might be a little more educated than most of the guys at the professional level.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll hear about that for sure.
Oh, I'm sure if any of them are listening, I'm going to hear it on Monday.
Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. 12-7 now, Union on top by 5, but Sand Springs starting to make that comeback, and this is the point that Sarah and I talked about in the first set. This is where Union needs to clamp down. They can't let Sand Springs back into this.
Certainly so. If you have that momentum, you want to try and keep it as long as you can and don't want to let them get that second hope.
Smith over to Martin. Martin got it back over. Sand Springs stays alive. Big block there. Sand Springs will set it back up, try to get it into the donut. Pinckney with a nice dive. Finelli will set it up over to Martin. Martin, big blast. And touched there by Phelan, and that's out of play. And Union will be awarded the point. Norwood will check back in. Amaya Norwood checks in. Raquel Finelli to serve. So Finelli back to serve, and Finelli was the one that started off this match, getting 6 in a row and has righted the ship from time to time. Finelli's another one of those athletes that we've got, plays both volleyball and soccer, and will probably continue her college career in soccer. Jenna East checks in.
It's incredible, the athleticism combined with how intelligent you have to be in volleyball. I mean, there's so many moving parts constantly, and it's never seems like a set deal.
It's one of those sports that and being hockey fans and both knowing the game like we do, this is about as close as I think to what hockey is. You know, the movement, the hand-eye coordination, everything you're doing. Yeah, no, you're not skating for sure, but man, everything that you've got to put together to play this sport. It's, you know, you said athlete, you know, being athletic, definitely, and diving on this floor, that's not.
Yeah,
that's
I can't
not
feel good.
Nope, not at all, not at all. And again, Finelli with basically the ace there, and there's the timeout. There's the timeout by Sand Springs. Zach, you gonna hang out for a bit?
Absolutely.
Very good. We'll take a timeout as well. It's Union Volleyball right here on the Union Sports Network.
When it's game day, the soundtrack is Game Time.
We go hide away in daylight. We go undercover.
Back live here on the Union Sports Network. The lead is 9 for Union as Finelli's back to serve. Zach Reynolds and myself, Jim Douthit. Andy Irwin upstairs making us look and sound wonderful. We appreciate you, Andy, and all the kids that are up there running cameras. Big blast there. Jenna East can't come up with it. And the lead is now 8. So opening night for the Oilers, as I introduce, Jacelyn Smith checks in. Taya Johnson to serve. Let's talk about opening night real quick, Zach.
Yeah, we kick off Saturday, October 30th, and so it should be a ton of fun. We're really excited. First time we're having full capacity since the 18-19 season, which was ended short, so we're really excited. Already sold over 8,500 tickets for the game, so expecting a very big crowd, and we still got more tickets to sell. So if people want to come out on opening night, you know, it'd be a fantastic opportunity to bring in live sports once again.
And something that fans, I'm not 100% sure they think about, getting into the game is fairly inexpensive. It's not like you got to spend, you know, hundreds of dollars on seats to get great seats.
Absolutely.
I mean, ticket prices start at what?
I mean, if you call the office, we're always running specials. Our number is 918-632-7825. I mean, you get tickets as low as $9 a game at times, and in the lower bowl as well. So lots of wide ranges for pretty much any need you have.
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of times we talk about going to a professional event and it can flat drain the wallet, but it's not true with the Oilers, as Jackson with a nice dig, but Sand Springs cuts the lead to 7. Cassidy Holland checks in. Peyton Robbins to serve. And who are you playing opening night?
We'll be playing the Kansas City Mavericks, a team we're pretty familiar with over the last few years, a division opponent. It should be a lot of fun. They're Calgary's affiliate, so 2 affiliated teams going at it. And I think that's something that maybe a lot of people don't realize is the level of play at the AA level has increased so much now. We've had several players go on to play in the NHL at this point in the last couple of years, and this year I think we may see a couple more that have made their way through the system. Yeah, and something that you talk about the AA affiliate, it works very similar for the fans that are familiar with the Drillers. Yes. That's exactly how it works. Yeah. Big league teams send players down for rehab stints to see how they're playing, and so there's that door swings quite a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, back and forth. Last year was a little more stable, I would say, on that because our affiliates in California, and with COVID going on, it was a bit difficult, but this upcoming year we're thinking we're going to see a lot of movement, and it's exciting to see some new players here and there, and of course when they're on NHL contracts, you know they come good. Yes. Yeah, you don't just get handed an NHL contract, that's for sure. Layla Lennox to serve for Sand Springs. So Lennox back to serve. The lead is 6 now. As I was hoping, if you and I just kind of ignored what was going on in volleyball, these girls would keep it up and the foot on the gas. Jackson with a nice job to just kind of tip it over and then back. Oh, great job there by Martin. Back to Jackson. Nice dig there by Sand Springs to keep it alive. Robledo almost collides back there with Martin, and Norwood into the net. And the lead is now 5. Chad McKee out to talk about, hey,
You know how you're supposed to spike that, Norwood. I don't think she got as high quite as she wanted to in that ball where she wanted it. Robledo, Finelli, Smith, and the rocket, and it was out. And I would contest that with the great Megan right here in front of me. That's not that hard to contest. You know, it's tough from our vantage point sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's like, you know, and we do turn into homers just like you do.
Yep.
You know, never want to argue with an official because they are right there. But boy, howdy, there's been times you're like, really? So you bite your tongue because our OSSA officials, I tell you what, in volleyball, these folks are phenomenal. I know there's been some questionable things. I know we saw in Putnam City. I think there was about 23 holding calls in that game on both sides of the ball.
That was certainly interesting in that game, and just the way she goes sometimes, right?
That's exactly it. And we've seen it. And listen, officials have bad games.
Yeah.
We've known it. We've seen it in many sports. It's just tough sometimes to bite your tongue, especially when you're talking about your favorite team.
Everyone has their days at the office, right?
Right.
And it's no different for broadcasters, for referees, for coaches, for players, and you know, it's easy to kind of forget that at times.
Yeah, it is funny because you're absolutely right. We can't run and hide. When we make mistakes, boy, everybody hears it. You know, everybody hears it for sure. 19-16 now. The lead is 3. Jason Smith to serve. Smith back to serve. The lead is 3. And boy, howdy. It's a little bit closer than we wanted it to be tonight on senior night. There's Jackson. Didn't quite get all of that. They'll rotate around. Big block there. Back over, punched back over, and Sand Springs stays alive. Another block. Played, set. Little backside, Martin. Robledo will set it up. Over to Jackson. Jackson, nice save there by Sand Springs. And into the net. Cassidy Holland. Well, I think she kind of double clutched that, had to think a little too much.
Some of the blocks there.
Allie Wright checks in.
On that last rally, incredible. Just
Jackson serves.
Keeping things rolling and making sure that lead stays safe.
What was your, when you were at Oklahoma State, what you call a lot?
Well,
or did you get to do anything?
I didn't get to do a ton of that. At that time, I was studying more to do the PR side of things. Rob Labor got me into the broadcasting side of things more so than school itself, but
interesting. So you didn't get into this business to be in the broadcasting
side.
side.
Yeah, I got into being the sports PR side and worked with the OSU wrestling program and OSU athletics in general, and then got to the Oilers, was doing some PR stuff, and Rob left, and it just kind of became something I found out I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Rob's doing a great job. What a great guy over there at Jinx. He's phenomenal, and a double touch, and it's 22-16, and I think finally, I hate to say it, I'll knock on wood, because Sarah's over there kind of looking at me like, don't say it. Don't say it, Jim. Yeah, I know, and she's still giving me a hard time about the Dodgers jersey. For sure. Yeah, I'll hear about this for a long time. Nice block. Sand Springs controls, but miscommunication in 23-16, and Union up by 7. Up by 7. So any big promotions opening night besides it being opening night? I know it's a day before Halloween, so.
Yeah, we have the opening night. We'll be doing magnet schedule giveaway on opening night, and then we're still going to release the rest of our promo schedule a little later, but as always, we'll do a youth jersey giveaway night at some point this season. We'll do a ton of other giveaways this year, and I think that's something we're looking to ramp up under our new ownership as well.
Ownership and knowing that we can have a full boat there down at the BOK.
Absolutely.
Set point now for Union, 24-16. Jackson back to serve. The West Virginia commit puts it in the net and can't finish it off like she likes to. You're looking at D1 athletes, 2 of them on the floor right now. Oh, I'm sorry, just one. Amaya's over on the bench cheering these folks on. DeWitt to serve. Olivia DeWitt to serve. Set point number 2, 24-17. So when will those schedules be released for fans out there?
So the schedule is on our website already for the entire year. The promo schedule itself probably be out a little bit earlier next month as well. And we're obviously really excited about getting everything rolling and underway.
Well, great. Hey, listen, Zach, we appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've done for Union. I appreciate
Absolutely.
the friendship that we've had over the
Absolutely.
years. It's
I
been
wouldn't
great.
be here without you.
Yeah,
so thank
well,
you so much.
and that's it. That's it for sure. So, Zach Reynolds, everybody. Zach, thanks for joining us. Tulsa Oilers open up
October 30th, BOK Center.
30th, and don't forget, homecoming tomorrow night. You can hear Zach with Rick Corey live on 102.3 KRMG and right here on the Union Sports Network. Zach, thanks, buddy.
Thanks as always,
You
Jim.
bet. We'll be back right after this.
Maybe I just need a friend who never calls me crazy, crazy. You pull me off the front line before and keep me cool, but now get overdone. You can take me there. When my heart speaks free. Take my hand in the middle of a crisis. Pull me close, show me baby where the light is. I was scared of how that couldn't silence, but you made me feel good. I like it. Take my hand in the middle of a crisis. Pull me close, show me baby where the light is. I was scared of how that couldn't silence, but you made me feel good. I like it. You made me feel good. I like it. You made me feel good.
They travel crazy miles, God knows what they go through. Just to see you smile, to let you know they love you. And I pray it's forever that we're all together, just laugh and sing along. 'Cause there ain't nothing better than this road I'm on.
Back live here on the Union Sports Network.
Did you
Sarah,
miss me?
I did miss you. But thank you for allowing us to do that and talk a little hockey and talk a little bit. We talked a little football. We talked a lot of things. So
Yeah, I can't
so
do that.
you could talk hockey.
My wife's listening. She's probably laughing. Like,
Okay,
she can
got
talk a little bit of
Is she?
hockey.
Well, there you go. I tell you what, a little bit of hockey. The fact that you understand that they play on ice, and I'm not taking anything away from fans out there, but you know, we're still. It's funny to think that we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and people are still like, "You have a hockey team?" We're like, "Yeah, we've had a professional hockey team for 30 plus years now." At '92 is when the Oilers came back in.
Oh
the
yeah, I
old
enjoy
Central
going to a
Hockey
few
League.
games.
Oh yeah, talk about it.
Well,
A few
a
games.
little steep for my teacher salary,
Yeah,
so I
oh,
only
yeah.
go to a few. But
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, now that we got the hookup with Zach, we can talk about having some good
okay.
nights and that kind of thing. So, while they're cleaning up the floor,
yeah, that was a sight. I don't think I've ever seen the key.
yeah, I don't think I ever have either. But what had happened? Any idea? Was it just
I
the
think
bottle
that they
water?
just pulled the bottled waters out of the cooler and during that, in between the sets, and now it's just all wet or someone spilled.
Got it.
I
got
would
it.
say either.
Either. Got it. So what did you see in that second set, Sarah, as you got to sit back and kind of watch? One of the things that Zach even pointed out, he said, gosh, they got to keep the foot on the gas here. And I was like, hello.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I think that's something you and I have been talking about all season long. It's that, teams that we come up against that we could have closed in 3 sets, we drug out to 5 for what reason? Because we relaxed. So that's exactly right. I think we just need to pedal to the metal here.
Finelli to serve.
We had a few hiccups in that one. I saw that crazy pass Finelli just couldn't get to. She's yelling help, 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 and typically setter gets second ball, but if she's yelling help, we got to help her out.
Right. And that was one of the things he picked up on, the fact that she did yell it, and she yelled it early enough. You gotta be ready for that. Nice dig there by Finelli. One of the greatest points that we saw, though, and Zach alluded to it, was during that last set for both sides, digging the dig right here with Pinckney and Jackson right in front of us, and there's a big blast by Martin.
And honestly, if I don't remember who was on the floor, but if that person wasn't on the floor in the way of LP would have got there. She had the perfect timing, but just got tripped up.
Well, and it was Finelli. I think Finelli had fallen, and Pinckney tried to get over LP, and she just couldn't. So 1-0 Finelli back to serve, and Finelli's been pretty good from the service line tonight, getting a lot of points. Whatever she's doing is really this rotation of people, and just like that. Smart volleyball.
Love to see her here. Can't wait to see her out on the soccer pitch here come next semester.
Real soon.
Oh, yeah. I'm shifting from this and going straight into that, and I get to breathe for about 5 seconds. And
that's it. That's it. That's going to be exciting. I love coming out and watching the girls and the boys, for that matter, play soccer. Great sport, great times. Big blast there by Martin. Sand Springs controls it. They'll just get it back over. Free ball. Norwood, Finelli. Back to Norwood, blast. Oh, great dig there by Sand Springs to keep it alive. Another dig. Oh, and it gets back over. And that's in. Wow. Sand Springs didn't give up on that at all. Phelan was just all over the place on that. The libero. Finelli back to serve. She's laughing at her girls, cheering her on back there. Phelan set it up for Sand Springs. Block there, controlled. Nicely done by Johnson. Over Jackson, East. Norwood calls for it, and she'll get it back over. Free ball for Sand Springs. What can they do with it? They can get their first point with it is what they can do.
You know, Maya was one of the kids I coached in 8th grade for basketball back in the day. So this is real weird, having her be a senior tonight.
Well, and we talk about it every year that passes by. It's just like, I remember when you were an 8th grader. I remember when you know, and it's just like, goodness gracious. And, but any better place to be? No, I don't think so.
No.
I really don't think so. East controls Norwood. Big blasted down. 4-1 now as that was tipped out of play. And they're not sure. I'm not too sure what Robbins was looking at. Martin back to serve. A couple of the Sand Springs players were looking at the official here like they weren't too sure. Oh, Finelli, nice dig. LaPointe. Martin just gets it over. West Virginia product. Oh, and a great dig there.
I would say for the most part, they're handling T's hits pretty well.
They are. They've been practicing that. Nice job. Boy, Norwood. Great hands. Way to pay attention. East. Controls it.
Great
and
effort.
A great effort.
Wrong
for
direction.
Sure. I don't know what the better effort was. East to get to that or Norwood to get it this way.
I hope every single one of my 8th grade players saw that.
Lennox to serve.
We are constantly telling them, follow your teammate. You know, if someone's going to sell out and go get that ball, then go help her out.
Martin, Finelli, LaPointe, nice job. Nice dig there by Robbins. Finelli with paying attention. Jackson. And
nice.
Down. Boy, that was nice. Kind of a back set there.
They were like all on the same page right there. That was awesome.
Well, and they were all on the same page. I was a little scared because they were all right together as well. Thiessen checks in. Smith checks in.
Trust, Jim.
LaPointe to serve. Trust is absolutely correct. You just touched the Dodgers jersey, by the way.
I need to wash my hands.
Yes, you do. You need a timeout. Glenn Howard, Mr. Glenn Howard. So I don't know if at some point, Andy, I'll turn around and I think you got to get a. They got the picture of me.
We'll have to blur it out.
We'll have to blur it.
It's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate.
You can tell Glenn I said that too.
Yeah,
I don't know him, but he'll know me now.
Yeah, yep, that's sure. Block there, nicely done, but that's going to be out of play. 7-2 is the score. So for folks that didn't know, have I already explained why I'm wearing the Dodgers jersey?
I think you briefly mentioned it.
Okay, yeah, it's just because the Cardinals lost the Dodgers last night, and I'm a Cardinal fan and blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're done. Anyway, 7-2 Union on top. Nice job. Sand Springs to keep with it. Now Jackson gets it over. Sand Springs sets it up. Boy, howdy, great dig there again by Phelan.
I would have hurt my back if I did that and been in bed for a week.
A week. Big blast, and there's Jackson. She found that kind of that donut area, if you will, that sweet spot, and got it down. And Robbins with a great effort, but she couldn't come up with it, and 8-2. The lead is now 6. Up 2 sets to love, or none, as it is.
Probably should have let that one go.
Timeout for Sand Springs, and we'll take a timeout as well. Union up 9-2. We're in set number 3 right here on the Union Sports Network. Back live here on the Union Sports Network. She's Sarah Blakely. I'm Jim Douthit. Appreciate you joining us here on senior night on the floor right now for Union. Thiessen, Finelli, Norwood, Smith, Jackson, and LaPointe. And LaPointe will control. Over to Jackson. Jackson, big blast. Kept alive and followed and out of play. And that was one of those things.
Jacob knew he didn't even flinch.
As that went over our heads and just into our fans behind us. And who was it that didn't flinch?
Jacob, the athletic trainer.
Yes.
He just, I'm fine.
Yeah, whatever. Back there sitting with Dan Newman. Finelli controls. LaPointe. Boy, howdy, over to Thiessen. And Thiessen was kind of a mixed up discombobulation there. And it's one of those things that's the little things, and I'm not trying to be critical of this team. Those are the mistakes they cannot make moving forward. And I know it's just one, but it seems this is when the wheels start to fall off sometimes for them.
Right, and this is where, if you see Mickey when he talks to them about the block is making that angle so it doesn't block and ricochet out of bounds, because we want that to fall on their side.
Norwood with a big blast. Boy, she reached back and had Jackson power on that one. Finelli, Smith.
Nice quick.
Nice job. And that's out.
See, and that's great court awareness on our part, where I feel Sand Springs had a couple of those same hits where if they would have let them go out, it'd be a different ball game right now.
Allie Wright checks in for Sand Springs. Lakira Pinckney checks in for Union.
Coach Pointer up top being the creeper.
Which coach is that?
Coach Pointer, he does
that's
football.
Coach Pointer, got it.
Teaches
I
in my
do.
building.
He's kind of creeping up in the building. And he can get a shot at him after this point if he's still standing there.
He's yelling at Mia. I think that's his sister-in-law.
Got it. He's just to the right of 124, but wedged between 124 and sections 125.
And he's gone.
And he disappeared. 12-3. Union on top here in set number 3. Nice job there for Union to keep it alive. Conversations, they gotta talk, they gotta clean
get
that up.
out there.
And Jackson with a big howitzer twice, but Sand Springs survives. Say that 3 times quickly. Nice block
Pinelli
there.
got that touch.
Robledo over to Jackson.
Oh, timing's off.
Yep. Robledo to Finelli to Jackson, and was set a little farther. DeWitt checks in, and she'll serve for Sand Springs. So backcourt is Pinckney, Robledo, and Thiessen. Up front is Smith, Jackson, and Finelli. Thiessen, Finelli over to Jackson. Jackson didn't quite get all of that. I'm not too sure what she was trying to do to place it. 13-4 now. It's a mistake by Sand Springs. Gets the ball back to Union side. Martin checks in, Jackson to serve. Mia Martin checks in, Jackson back to serve. Jackson put a little something on that serve, that's for sure.
I think they're going to call
There's
tips.
tip.
They're having a discussion about it. Oh,
And there it is.
there it is. Yep.
Yep,
No touch.
no
Just
touch.
out.
And Coach Jackson is having out to have a little bit of a conversation with Megan Brands. And Brands is going to come across, have a little conversation with Steve Thomas now.
And this is where, I'm from the basketball world where I'll say, hey, ref, can I have a conversation with you? And we sit there and talk, obviously, professionally. But with volleyball, it's, you got to send your captain over, you got to do this, and we're going to talk, and then the captain comes back to you. And so it's just a completely different world.
Right now, it looks like they're having a little problem with the net. So we're going to come over here. And the whistle disappeared again. It was funny because Steve had a little problem with his whistle during the JV game, and it just kind of fell off and just kind of sat there. Yeah, Steve just asked if we were having fun with this. No, sir, not at all. It's the way it is. It is what it is, if you will.
Well, last year with COVID, I didn't want to be putting a whistle in my mouth and mask and all that kind of stuff, so I got one of those handheld whistles, and man, did I wear the batteries out of that. It had different tones, and the girls would be like, play tone number 3, and it did a little toot-toot-toot dance. And
a battery-powered whistle.
Oh,
wow.
It was great.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Now, Steve Thomas gets his whistle back, and we are set to play. So the point was awarded after a little conversation. Point was awarded to Union, so it's 14-4 now. And we're back to play. Nothing like icing us.
Right.
As Coach
Oh,
McKee
see.
said, just
Yeah.
like that,
Oh,
Coach
see.
McKee says, hey, we ice ourselves.
Man,
So
if
what
that was
happens
the
here?
case, I would have taken the whistle out of his bag for him, brought it to him.
Brought it to
I'll
him.
run over there. I'll be the ball girl.
Phelan to serve. Charlie Phelan to serve now for Sand Springs. Up by 9 is Union. That may have been the most unorthodox set
Yeah.
or return that I saw with Jackson. I don't think I've ever seen anything
No,
like that.
I was also thinking the same thing.
But it worked.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool if it works. Smith to serve.
But only if it works.
Only if it works, yes. Yeah. 15-5, up by 10. Set number 3 here. Thanks for joining us on the Union Sports Network. Alongside Sarah Blakely, I'm Jim Douthit. And what is probably our last telecast here for volleyball this season. Don't forget that Union homecoming is this weekend and this Friday night. And what's homecoming mean to you, being a product of this fine institution? It's probably pretty special for you.
Man, homecoming is so different now. I feel like, it might still be the same thing where, homecoming court is just, people involved in football / the trainers and all that kind of stuff. And now I feel like it's opened up to a lot of other sports as well, where they get to, vote within their own programs to say who should be on the court. And again, I could be wrong, but I think that's my basic understanding of this. But, it's just a special night. And
Yes.
especially if you're junior, senior, and you're leading up to the game, and you've got Spirit Week all week, and you're just doing fun things. And, it's a good night. Hang out with friends and family.
Yeah, it's great. And the new stadium has a whole lot to do with it as well.
Oh, yeah.
17-5 now, Union on top. So it is homecoming week. We've had festivities all week, dress-up days and all that kind of stuff at the high school. And
What was your favorite day?
Probably yesterday. It was barbecue dad or soccer
yeah.
mom.
You were the soccer mom, right?
I was. Yes, I was. No, I was not. What was funny is when I told Carolyn, my wife, about it, she was like, "Well, oh wow,
Huge.
wow,
Huge.
where did she get that all of a sudden?" Boy, the fan in this bench jumped up on that one too. Martin just unleashed the howitzer. Jenny East checks in and she'll serve. What I was talking about with Carolyn, what was funny is she said, "No, you're going to be barbecue dad because we don't have to go out and buy anything for this night." And I was like, "Yeah," and I pulled it off beautifully. But I got to hand it. There was a couple of art teachers, and they went all out. One of them cut a cutout of the front of a minivan and literally drove it, quote unquote, drove that minivan around all day at school.
Oh, my goodness.
It was crazy. Norwood checks in. It was crazy. So Tara Nedro and I'm trying to remember who else. They had little strollers that they sat in with their like pacifiers. I mean, everybody went all out.
See, I love that. I
It was
wish
awesome.
there'd be a little bit more, but junior high level, all the kids are new to it. They're like,
Yes.
"What is Spirit Week, really?" And they just see us teachers looking like crazy people.
Yes. Oh, I know. And it was funny because I talked about it with Dr. Robinson, our director in the CCC, and I was like, I wonder if sometimes these dress-up days aren't more about us as adults than it is as the kids, for
I
sure.
mean, I think the seniors definitely get into it.
Oh, they do, for sure. Thiessen checks in.
Yeah, but my wife
Morals checks in.
also hates when I have a new idea, and she's like, "We really got to go buy this stuff." So now I just have all the stuff already for Spirit Week. I thought I'd be done with this in high school, but, here I am.
Yep. Here you are doing Spirit Week still.
As a full-on adult.
That's it. Miscommunication there, and now the lead is 18, no, 16. Good Lord, I'll do the math right one of these days. Brittany Smith checks in.
Starting to see some of the emotions come out towards the end of this.
And a dig there. 22-5. Macy LeBeau checks in. And just like that, Coach McKee has only one senior left on the floor. Oh, excuse me, no, he has two. He has got Norwood and Finelli both on the floor. Thought he was going to pull them all off. 22-5. This all-sport homecoming, as I'm reminded by Andy Irwin. Big blast there, nicely handled. All-sport homecoming.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy.
No.
I knew what I was saying.
Yeah,
Thanks
exactly.
for the confirmation, Andy.
Morrow checks in for Sand Springs.
I love this.
Howard checks in.
You want seniors to
checks
stay
in.
on the floor as long as they can, but, to give them a moment just to enjoy
Big
the
hand
game.
is perfectly acceptable right here, folks.
But just to give them a moment to enjoy the game and to take it all in. And,
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them are already crying.
Yeah, oh yeah, and they are. Some of the fans started to applaud, and that's down 22-7. Some of the fans started to applaud, and I was trying to let the pause happen so the fans could applaud all the seniors now sitting on the bench. Big blast there. And 22-8 now. LeBeau, Morals, and Thiessen on the backcourt for Coach McKee up front. And that's a big blast there, and it's down up front. Let's see, is Pinckney, Howard, as Howard goes back to serve. Howard to serve for Union.
This is just
Gracie
a little,
Young checks in for Sand Springs.
just a little peek into what our future looks like, moving forward.
Bet. Howard with a nice serve, 23-8. That ball is going to be out of play. And it is match point. Match point number one. Match point number one. Howard back to serve. Smith, Thiessen, and Pinckney up front. Nice serve there by Howard. Big blast, nicely controlled there by Union. Back over. Sand Springs lives another, and it's down, and that's it. And that is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen, as Union takes out Sand Springs in 3 sets. And Sarah, this is it.
This is it.
This is it. Union wins 12 out of their last 13 as we get ready for playoffs. And they're on the floor, and they're just enjoying themselves right now as you get your camera out and take a little picture of that action for sure. As I'll announce one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, how about another big hand for all our seniors here, Sand Springs, and especially your Union volleyball team. Folks, don't forget it's homecoming this week. Union will host Mustang for homecoming night tomorrow night. Game starts at 7. You can get tickets by visiting unionps.org/athletics or calling 918-357-7410. You can also watch it live right here on the Union Sports Network. Join Rick Corey and Zach Reynolds at unionsportsnetwork.com. On behalf of everybody at the Union Athletics Department, seniors, congratulations. Good night, everybody. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us. For Andy Irwin, Daniel, everybody up in the booth, anything last to say?
Yeah, you know, it's been a fun ride, and I never thought this would be me getting this opportunity, but I've had some fun with you, and hope to get on the headset a few more times here in the future.
Well, and you are definitely one of the greats, and we will do it for sure. We will do it again for sure. Soccer's not my not in my wheelhouse of things. But basketball, girls basketball, we had a good time doing that. And that's how you and I got hooked up. Girls wrestling starts December 2nd, so we'll be broadcasting girls wrestling for sure. So it's been great, Sarah. I can't thank you enough. So for Sarah Blakely, let's see, Inya, Cody, and Daniel upstairs making us look and sound good. Our producer Andy Irwin, thanks for joining us. This has been Union Volleyball Senior Night right here on the Union Sports Network.